Salute to y'all. I mean, this ain't really a drink that you make a toast to, but salute to y'all, man. I hope y'all having a good day. We're going to check out, man, some explorers capturing things that no one was supposed to see. Let's check them out.
The tree, and he's like, oh, I see something.
Well, first there was the sound of the vocalizations, which we expected. And then there was a moment of silence. And this proved to be the calm before the storm, because then it was bam.
The mystery creature creating a buzz. She says she doesn't know whether it's a reptile or a mammal.
Chupacabra.
Hunters caught this massive Burmese python full of eggs.
We already had National Geographic here when we did the first phase of the necropsy, and they counted with us 122 developing eggs.
In 2014 at Karazanga National Park, without Mama Python around, this daring worker boldly took out the eggs from the tree trunk. Whoa, python eggs inside a tree trunk? That's wild. As the eggs have an incubation period of around 60 to 90 days, the birth giver exhibits the best nesting behavior. But who knew the reptile would feel safer in a tree trunk instead of the burrows and hollow logs? The discoverers waited for the mother to come back, but she never did. The authorities said the abandoned embryos would be transported to their laboratory care unit. Once matured and equipped to face the challenges of the outside world, the young snakes would be released into the wilderness. Decomposing chupacabra.
Bro, so it's safe to say these python numbers are about to skyrocket, or whatever type of snake that was. I think it was a python. They're about to skyrocket, seeing that they can produce that many eggs at a time. What are we gonna do with that? Like,
Cabra. Each time people feel they've secured their territory, a monster appears to remind them of his greater powers.
Yep.
In the backyard of an industrial area was found a black chupacabra lying breathless. Famously known as goat sucker, the farmers were worried about such a creature trolling near their region. The lifeless body of chupacabra had the spectators guessing, the causes varying from punishment by angry farmers and even supernatural causes. Remaining a mystery, terror arose, forcing the farmers to plan new methods of keeping their animals safe. But you know what? Even after everything, scary voices still kept everyone up at night. Crying being.
whoa.
A family on their night walk was taken aback on witnessing a bizarre creature that was defying all the explanations. A four-legged orange giant eel-like creature with slit eyes and a flattened head was found crawling in their backyard. And strangely, it was crying like a human infant. The wanderer quickly recorded the animal. When uploaded on TikTok, it led to profound confusion. Comments argued between mutant mudskippers and evolving eels.
Now, I don't know much about nothing, right? So somebody got to let me know if that sound was real or they just added like some baby sound effects to this video. Does that really sound like that? Because do you know how misleading that is to think that it's a baby in your backyard and you go out and find that?
However, experts said it was one of the largest and rarest salamander species inhabiting China. Usually being black or dark brown, this one displayed a mutation in its coloring. And it gets even creepier when you find out that, while most salamanders are silent, this one emits a disturbing cry similar to a baby's wail you would not wish to hear. Egg trunk. A man discovered an empty tree and decided to explore its contents. When he opened it, he was amazed to find a cluster of white eggs inside. Since there was no nest or bird in sight, he couldn't determine the owner of the eggs. However, the mysterious eggs oddly resembled chicken eggs. The question arose, why would a hen choose a hollow tree instead of incubating its eggs? Perhaps someone else placed them there to hide their secret eggs in a secure location. Water Leviathan. A guy was recording the breathtaking beauty of a river. when suddenly a strange scream pierced the air. The voice sent shivers down everyone's spines. No one dared to seek the unseen until the military sent its team to patrol over the water body. And guess what? There emerged a monstrous shape, its massive form breaking the surface with a deafening roar. Panic developed as the creature thrashed about. It was neither a gigantic whale nor a terrifying shark. Still being unidentified, it is said that the Titan haunts the minds of all who dared to venture into the aquatic body. Will they ever discover what's really going on?
Now, that gotta be CGI. But do I think it's stuff down there like that? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it ain't gonna come to the surface like that possibly and be that clear for us to see, but maybe it does. But I do think it's stuff out there.
Massive serpent. A person out for a morning walk found himself face to face with a massive anaconda coiled at the top of a tree by the beach. As he captured the moment on video, the snake startled him with its large mouth. The man cautiously reached out his hand in an attempt to interact, but fortunately the snake didn't take the bait and remained non-aggressive. Unidentified cadaver. A deceased monkey or an unknown carcass? This mysterious fur-covered body lying with its arms and legs stretched peculiarly was found lying on the ground. Having an awful odor near its surroundings and showing no signs of life, the team wished for the departed soul to have a better life thereafter. However, intrigued by its peculiar appearance, the squad planned on exporting the remains to a research laboratory, where its exact species and reasons for demise could be known. For the moment, the mystery stayed, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. Monstrous arachnid. Heading out into the sandy stretch near his home, the guy couldn't shake off a sense of unease. Something just didn't feel right. With a mix of curiosity and anxiety, he switched on his torch and cautiously edged closer to the mysterious pit. His senses were not wrong, because what he saw in there made his legs tremble with shock. It was a mammoth spider with its monstrous legs piercing into the cavities. He reasonably was knitting a kingdom as evidence of its territory. The scared guy, in no mood for adventure, ran towards his home and warned everyone around about the demon prevailing in their society.
If there's a spider down there that big, then the web that it creates has to look like a mansion. If it's that big, bro. Seriously. Like, the web from it has to be able to capture humans.
Graveyard conjuration. Are you ready to uncover the secrets hidden beneath the silent stones of the graveyard? Because this explorer surely is. What he found was a black bag lying neglected in the crumbling tombstones. With great bravery, the explorer approached it and was struck with immense fear on seeing a voodoo doll lying bound with locks and pierced by countless pins. An amulet spotted nearby made it a clear case of black magic. The guy, in the blink of an eye, lost his bravery and left the site as soon as possible. He said that the incident literally shook him, and he could not stop praying for everyone's safety. Frozen Bigfoot.
My father acquired the Bigfoot, froze it, like a frozen position like this.
We all receive amazing gifts, but have you ever been given a frozen Bigfoot? You guys might be thinking that I am exaggerating, but watch it for yourself. You might think I'm making it up, but see it for yourself. There's a huge Sasquatch that has been frozen since 1953, preserved as if it just passed away. What got my attention about this 65-year-old male, who's about 6 feet tall, is the myth of Bigfoot having really big feet. Surprisingly, this one's feet are about the same size as a human-sized 9. Unfortunately, one of its feet could not remain intact and was preserved solely. This led to controversies which deepened when DNA samples too did not seem to provide any valuable results. All they could say was that the terrified expression on its face suggested an impending end. Unlike many others, the recipient, respecting its current appearance, intended to send it back to a cryopreservation facility. Secret Ant World. A group of excavators determined to explore wonders of nature underground used a non-accountable amount of cement melted into the earth for 3 consecutive days. What they found there after a month was a bustling civilization thriving beneath their feet.
That's
A subterranean city being the secret megalopolis of ants. It was no less than a Victorian palace having highways, chambers, tunnels, fungus, gardens, rubbish pits, and whatnot. It was measured to be 50 square meters across the earth and 8 meters into the depths. You may be inclined to believe that it is the work of a single mastermind, but in actuality it was a kingdom of superorganisms made out of the collective will of the ant colony.
Like, I've seen them do that with like ant hills. You ever see them take an ant hill and like pour something over it like that, and then they brush it off and you could see the actual ant hill? I never thought of them like doing it to something like that on a grander scale, man. That's crazy. Whoa, bro. Like, that's insane to do, man. And imagine the finds and the things that you can keep intact, and instead of, you know what I mean, damaging it or destroying it while trying to dig. That is smart.
Hibernating. A multitude of tortoises stacked atop one another, presenting their remarkable journey of hibernation. These reptiles were found by a group of explorers while they were digging a field. The stacking creatures might have taken refuge in the depths of the ground to avoid freezing temperatures. As everything above ground stays quiet, these old beings take a long rest, waiting for the weather to get warm again. While others wanted to watch them, the kind farmer decided not to bother them and let them enjoy their sleep. Preserved dinosaur. In North Mexico, a team of well-equipped paleontologists made an unexpected discovery while excavating the land. Being sure of their senses, the digs too did not betray them. What they found in the heart of the sand was a 16-foot-long dinosaur tail. The researchers said that the unveiling had made them more zealous than before, and their crew was on their toes to find the complete skeleton of this megafauna overnight. This is a perfect example of success breeds success. Cosmic embryo. A recently separated couple visits a storage facility to divide their belongings, only to realize they're being haunted by an extraterrestrial entity. Having blank, bulging eyes and a wrinkled mud-colored body, the creature was taken as an alien fetus. Are we near to the times when aliens will become the next trendy thing? The couple probably did not want that because it immediately reported to the sheriffs, who transported the exotic creature to the nearby lab. Scientists said that it was a rare case, and they were looking into it quite keenly. So, is it an alien offspring or a new species taking over the world? Any guesses, guys? Alien embryos.
Never before in my whole life have I seen them.
Have I traveled to another world? Because this surely cannot be an earthly sight. 9 years ago, Sydney Beach was found scattered with alien eggs. The green spheres sparkled in the sunlight, looking incredibly beautiful. But what triggered me was that they were alien eggs. The surfer probably thought the same and finally dared to pick one. On looking at it closely, he declared them algae balls. They formed due to water currents rolling them, and are considered a lucky charm among the Japanese, who call them meromo. However, as these balls were of great interest to scientists studying aquatic ecology, the team did not hesitate to collect samples. Humpback in woods.
I'm sorry, I'm still a kid at heart. He's just like, oh, so these balls were of interest to scientists. Oh, man. I gotta grow
These
up.
scientists were on a troll when their team members detected an unusual odor and searched for the stench source. What they came across was beyond their thoughts. A 36-foot-long humpback whale lying breathlessly in grass shadows. The colossal creature, found at the Ariana Beach, situated at the mouth of the Amazon River, was raided by scientists who gathered the forensic samples.
Pessoal, essa é a baleia que encalhou aqui.
The Bicho Diago Institute claimed it to be a 12-month-old calf that had passed away in the sea and was carried by the waves to its unusual resting place. However, the cause of its demise remained unknown. We wish the behemoth to rest in peace. Mastodon tooth.
6-year-old stepped into this creek and found a little piece of Michigan history.
I just felt something on my foot and I grabbed it up and it kind of looked like a tooth.
A 6-year-old boy found a mastodon tooth in his home garden near Rochester Hills. The juvenile said that he was searching for money.
At first I thought I was gonna get money. I was gonna get $1 million.
But came across a fossil completely unexpected. Paleontologists mentioned that finding a fossil of an animal dating back 12,000 years was something intriguing for the researchers studying extinct animals.
It's hard to be preserved as a fossil. When an animal dies, most of the time it is scavenged. Finding fossils is something that I wish I could do every day.
The kid was on the 7th sky after the discovery and claimed that instead of pursuing archaeology like before, he was now more inclined towards paleontology.
I really want to be an archaeologist, but I think that was a sign that I'm going to be a paleontologist.
Toys in mind.
I'm like that kid though. I find something, I think I'm about to make $1 million.
Okay, this is kind of creepy. Someone has brought in a bunch of baby dolls. Some kind of little animal.
There is certainly a reason why directors make horror movies on toys. While venturing through abandoned mines, a group caught sight of these eerie objects. Determined and detective, they turned to their flashes to witness the neglected toys left between layers of dust properly. There were 3 dolls and a stuffed toy with large staring eyes. The vacant stare sent shivers down their spines as they wondered about the presence of these gadgets in such a desolate place. Upon further investigation, it was uncovered that the last visitors to this location were a family who mysteriously disappeared and were never found again. Luckily, this batch had come back from the spot safely. Ash sack. A group of practicing divers had hardly reached the bottom of the river when they found a dirty pouch. The fellows thought it was displaced coal that had accidentally fallen into the river. They took it out and when opened, horrified everyone around. An eerie sack full of ashes. Viewers claimed that they were the remains of a deceased person sacredly packed in a white cloth, released into water by the respective family. To maintain its integrity, the swimmers respectfully placed it back into the river. To be honest, they were afraid of its presence haunting them at night. Possessed croaker. Roosting on a top algae-covered wooden table, a gargantuan frog was spotted sitting abnormally. Smirking satisfactorily, it continued surveying the realm of miniature ponds, completely ignoring the attention of the cameraman. And just when everything seemed peaceful, a twist came to shake things up. The person recording suddenly felt the presence of something supernatural around the frog, and everyone around was unsure whether to stay or flee, as the frog was assumed to be possessed by some demon.
Hell, look at him just sitting there, just...
Stolen gun and badge.
He's sitting there like one of your old grandpas or something, sitting on the porch and just chilling.
Well, there's definitely... Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
What?
2 years back in America, 2 scuba divers began their routine swimming when one of them came across a glass bottle with writing on it saying, Royal Blossom Bottling Company from 1850s.
Royal Blossom Bottling Company, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
The boys' curiosity sparked many discoveries in the river, with the most important one being the lost things of a government agent. They respected the privacy of the objects and didn't share any personal details about the agent. Even though they tried to give the items back, they couldn't reach the owner, so they gave them to the police.
To the police department, but I found a .357 pistol.
385. Ostrich eggs.
We have a hearth that has burnt stones and sediment. We have a collection of ostrich eggs.
In January 2023, artifacts were uncovered by an IAA excavation started by the Jewish National Fund, ahead of the development of an agricultural area. What they found was truly astonishing. Legit huge eggs, each unique on its own. The explorer questioned their origin, suspecting they might not belong to ostriches. However, historical records traced ostriches to the Levant and Arabian Peninsula until their extinction in the 1800s. And now, for a bit of comic relief in the middle of it all, one guy hovered by hunger and excitement fried an egg, banking on its potential nutrient. Who laid them and why remained a mystery. Grasshopper rump. Watch out before you walk in a park next time. This guy was out for a stroll when he observed the grass of the park shaking differently. Although scared, his curiosity made him look.
You're telling us to watch out. How about that grasshopper watch out? There's no way I'm gonna be able to pick that out in some leaves. It'll just be camouflage, way too good for me to actually see and focus on that. And if you're a person like me that like to kick the leaves, yeah, you mess around and send them airborne.
For the cause and stumbled upon a weird marvel of nature. A brown-colored slender insect moving oddly. Well, you won't believe it, but the guy who couldn't believe his eyes managed to rally a team of people who concluded that the grasshopper's peculiar behavior was all thanks to the idea of spraying pesticides in the area. A few exaggerators stated that the creature was possessed and needed help. In the end, I would say that a tiny dancer in the wild had all the locals confused and puzzled. Miniature relic.
Wow.
Under the high voltage wires, an electrician was shocked to stumble upon the skeletal remains of a baby dinosaur. The discovery appeared fresh, with flesh woven into the bones. Are you excited to know the truth? As per the paleontology department, dinosaurs existed around 65 million years ago, and finding fresh skeletal remains was nearly impossible. However, the specimen was sent to the laboratory for carbon dating. Specialists said that its actual age would be revealed once the results were out. And here is the voice of locals mentioning it as no more than a genetically distorted fetus from the goat kin. But we'll need to wait for the authentic results to come in before we jump to conclusions. Any thoughts on what this creature might be? Sharks in basement.
This is not what you'd expect to see in someone's basement. Sharks between 2 and 4 feet long.
A swimming pool situated 15 feet above the ground was found to be a house of sharks. According to wildlife authorities, they have been involved in almost 4,000 cases. But this particular one was unmatched.
It's extremely unusual.
10 sharks ranging from 2 to 4 feet in length were present, with 3 already deceased. The neighbors claimed they had no inkling of such a thing being near them.
I can't believe that this happened here.
They accused the owner of illegally breeding the sharks for personal gain. The poor souls, having the capacity to grow up to 9 feet, were transported to a medicated aquarium where they would be nursed back to health. Ancient Roman swords. A very thrilling discovery took place in the hidden cave near the Dead Sea, as the archaeologists discovered 4 1900-year-old swords. The ancient swords were believed.
Oh, okay. Now I see why they're so excited. I mean, not only did you find one, you found 4 of them from that time. Yeah, I'd have been excited too. I get it now.
To be of Jews when they had risen against the Roman Empire. To talk of their appearance, they were complete with wooden and leather scabbards, appreciating the craftsmanship of their makers. Other than the swords, a coin from the time of the Bar Kokhba was also found at the cave entrance. The eternal destination of these swords stood the glass walls of a museum, as conservationists quickly transported them there. Astro mummies. In October last year, things went crazy when a forensic archaeologist showed mummified dolls seized by authorities before being shipped to Mexico during a press conference. The bodies had elongated heads and 3-fingered hands, associating them with the extraterrestrial lineage. This one surely caught your attention, didn't it? This doll was beautifully embellished, hinting at some tribal or ritual practice. However, the investigators calmed the mass by marking them as humanoid toys made of half human and half animal bones stuck together with a modern synthetic glue. But here's a plot twist. The audience wasn't quite ready for this one. They were more into the fun and fantastical stuff than the ordinary everyday tales. Lobster conga line. I bet you've never been fooled by lobsters in such a comically embarrassing way before. Well, aware of the Caribbean culture, these arthropods knew about their planned hunt at dusk and dawn. This hullabaloo is from last year, when a diver plunged into the ocean to have a massive catch. And here is the moment the explorer managed to catch on camera. The cunning creatures all set for their string motion design, a whole lobster conga line, thanking their antennas and the magnetic field for alignment. The restaurant guy felt pretty embarrassed as he watched the sneaky lobsters dance off and vanish into the deep ocean. Aquatic clash. A team of mudlarks curious to collect some expensive artifacts had not gone much deeper into the woods when were shocked by a startling aha scene. A fish ensnared within the jaws of a cunning toad. While the crew was trying to figure out what was happening, one of them revealed that it was this underwater fauna that had attacked the toad first. But the tables turned and it was now a failed predation attempt, leaving the predator in trouble. Or most precisely, a battle of survivors. The attacker fought desperately. But guys, if to ask my prediction, I don't think the fire-filled hopper would let loose its mugger.
Bro, he got like a vice grip hold on that thing. You see that joker? Bear hugging him.
Caterpillar convoy. The story is of a college student who encountered mysterious iridescent worms on a street. To identify the organisms, he decided to share the video online, where netizens classified them as hundreds of caterpillars forming one large beast. Guess what? Caterpillars, in order to cover long distances, have more muscles than humans. The organisms stack up together in such a manner that those at the base crawl sluggishly, bearing the weight of their peers, whereas above, the momentum increases with each layer. The young guy set the caterpillars free, and they all started a journey together, working towards their shared destiny of transformation. Underwater river. It's time for an underwater dive now. Divers deep down the ocean in Mexico, near the Yucatan Peninsula, found a miraculous underwater river. The water body, named Cenote Angeletti, meaning little angel in Spanish, is believed to be a layer of hydrogen sulfide that comes out onto the surface after the amalgamation of fresh and salt water. It was measured to be 2 meters thick, making it appear as a dreamy island surrounded by swirling clouds and mist. One cannot hesitate to say that Cenote Angeletti is truly a hidden gem of wonder and enchantment. Pig Beach. Pigs might not have wings to fly, but they're certainly adept swimmers. Located in the Bahamas, Pig Beach, also known as Big Major K, is a captivating spot visited by thousands of tourists. Its unusual nature of being home to dozens of feral pigs marks it peculiar among all other beaches worldwide. Some commentators say that they were left by sailors who intended to cook them, whereas others stated that the mammals had swam to safety after a shipwreck. Pig Beach, a magical sanctuary for sure. Memorial Day dip. Memorial Day, an occasion celebrated on the last Monday of May, is famous for its cherishing memorable moments, but what happened this time will be forever engraved into our minds. As the day is commemorated at the beginning of summer, the audience plunges into the pool, seeking enjoyment and refreshment. Little did they know they'd be sharing the pool with an alligator this year. Havoc was created, and the sheriffs, who were already on alert during such ongoings, arrived at the location, taking the magnificent reptile out of the pool. It was a 9-foot-tall female alligator who protested vehemently upon being removed from the water. Better luck swimming next time. Arctic unearthed.
Just hate that.
Is it just me, or did we just step into the ice age? 9 years ago, a team of students from the Michigan University were eager to explore something which would ignite widespread discussion. And here's the story. Their luck shined, and they excavated a mammoth skeleton from a pond which now stood barren. The paleontologist stated that it was a 30-year-old male giant who had left the world of mortals some 11 to 13,000 years ago. Well, that's a lot, but thanks to the cold temperature and low oxygen levels, it kept the remains intact to an average of 60 to 70%. So yes, the goal was achieved, as it was amongst the rarely found top-notch artifacts for the scholars to diagnose.
Just like that boy from earlier, I wonder if them kids were paid. Because somebody got paid for that mammoth. I've heard that, like, people go out looking for that stuff to make money. So I'm guessing nobody probably got paid though.
Jumbo eyeball. In October 2012, a guy strolling on South Florida beach saw a huge disintegrated eyeball. Curious to know its origin, he picked it up and rushed to the nearby laboratory. Scientists said it belonged to a swordfish, as they were pretty common in these waters. However, the actual analysis was yet to happen. Was it an aquatic battle, a cruel fisherman, or a magic ritual? Many people were left flabbergasted at it because you do not find such things on a beach usually. And let me tell you, this discovery gained the title of National Geographic's Weirdest Story of 2012. Mystery Box. As children, we all dream of discovering buried treasure. This fortunate man lived out his dream when he unearthed a mysterious box in his backyard, residing there for 4 years. He said that the wooden box came into view after a deer had eaten some bushes near it.
But it was really prominent when the deer ate away all the foliage.
The treasure engulfed hundreds of jewelry made of gold and diamonds, along with a distinct engagement ring.
Jewelry, diamonds, engagement ring, dozens of rings, gold, jade. It was stunning.
Interestingly, the casket also held the belongings of their neighbors, which was reported to have gone missing after a burglary of $52,000 in 2011. The couple avoided any social fame and surrendered the cash to government authorities. Now there stands a white elephant as a token of this remarkable discovery. Tribal mask. Sanka was on his daily walk in the woods near St. Thomas University when he decided to collect some fossils. But guess what? What he found was not even expected in his nightmares. Embedded in mud lay a face mask, its expression hauntingly blank. Its appearance signaled it being some ritual or tribal piece dropped by someone here by mistake, whereas the local myths marked it as a curse, linking it to vanished souls. The archaeologists deduced that it was crafted from copper, magnesium, and aluminum, originating from the mid-20th century. Retrieved in 2012, it sparked numerous inquiries as a fresh, fragile wax found on its side added fuel to the fire. Cave footwear. Well, you never know what you might stumble upon in a cave. Who would have thought you'd find shoes there if your hiking boots gave out?
I think these are old shoes. I'm not gonna touch them.
In 2021, a group of scouts dared themselves to investigate a messianic cave and found footwear lying within the depths of a dimly lit cavern. The hikers were still trembling with apprehension when one of them came across human bones, heightening the sense of unease. Another said that he heard water tides of a river nearby and wanted to continue ahead. But I doubt that this tunnel will have a light at its end. Coin consumption. At a Thailand beach in March 2017, a 25-year-old turtle was observed to be disturbed. It showed irregular eating patterns and abnormal ways of movement. Luckily, the stewards decided to export the sickened reptile to the laboratory where it was operated, and the doctors were astonished at the presence of 915 coins weighing almost 5 kilograms inside its stomach. The management was grateful for intervening and rescuing the innocent creature timely. The turtle was kept under intensive care for a week and was promised to be released back into the natural waters soon after recovery.
Heck yeah, he gonna be released back. And if them coins is worth something, I'm putting a tracker on him to see where he goes back to, because you know he probably going back to the scene of the crime. So I need to see where he's going back to so I can get the rest of these coins and see what else is around that area. He might have stumbled upon some type of treasure.
Kitchen discoveries. In this kitchen of Michigan, spices aren't the only ingredients. They have a pinch of discoveries, a dash of amusement, and a sprinkle of awe to season their daily lives. 5 years back, a couple, while renovating their kitchen, came across these things preserved in the walls. A grocery list, a metal artifact, gemstones, antique books, and a faint photo of a woman from her roaring 20s. There were many other objects from the bygone era of 1897, making the kitchen a miniature museum. The homeowners were excited and planned on sending them to an art gallery for others to see. It's time for today's open discussion. In 2017, a Nigerian village was awakened by the complaint of a farmer who had lost his best calf. He was near to losing patience when his eyes caught a huge snake with a swollen stomach whom he was sure of devouring the young cow. The angry young man quickly gathered villagers to help dissect the anaconda. Despite its protests, they hastily drew blades and ended its life. Regret weighed upon their hearts when the snake was found impregnated with dozens of eggs very near to giving birth. The calf, shortly after this incident, appeared out of a bush completely unharmed. Oh, the unfortunate reptile. The event teaches us to extend kindness towards animals beyond those we consider our own.